Hi, this is JJ again, coming at you from North Carolina's Death Row here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I have a true story that happened to me when I was young, and I will read it as follows. As a child, I always looked forward to holidays, as family from as many as 5 states would converge at my grandparents' home. My immediate family only lived a mile away. One particular holiday, and I think it was a Christmas, but it could have been Thanksgiving, my cousin Donna Marie came with her parents. I was around 10 to 12 years old, probably closer to 12. Donna a few years older, and my sister Tammy was a few years younger than me. This particular day, I saw Tammy and Donna start off at a brisk pace toward a logging road behind Grandpa James' house. Knowing Donna was going to take care of Tammy, I dismissed them entirely. The logging roads were safe, well-defined, and that was that. Several hours later, the tired pair returned. But from the road opposite, the disused logging road, Tammy kept going on and on about a church in the woods and an old lady riding a motorcycle. Of all the stories she and Donna Marie could come up with, I thought, surely they didn't expect anyone to believe this one. I mean, come on. Old ladies don't ride motorcycles, and churches in the woods are only for horror movies. I was a roamer. I walked trails, roads, streams, deer paths, or made my own path. And I listened when other folks sat around and talked. Over the next year or so, I heard about Hillsdale Church. It rang a bell, so to speak. I'd heard the name before, but now I consciously filed that bit of information away. But now I'm curious. I asked around. Sure enough, the older adults knew all about Hillsdale. They told me to stay away from it. It wasn't for kids. Fast forward another year. I'm out and about, ambling here and there, no direction in mind. I decided to follow what I expected to just be an old driveway, but it went on and on. It veered off to what I knew to be the old Moore's place, so I followed the main route. Through rows of mature pine trees until, lo and behold, there was an old church. Tammy was telling the truth. With all intrepidation, I approached the church, which is made of wood, clapboard exterior. No windows that I recall. It brought to mind a one-room schoolhouse, or what I expect a Shaker church to look like. I walked a few steps leading to the door. I pushed it open. Lo and behold, it was unlocked. The inside was a one-room construction. Wooden plank pews were in disarray, the dust of ages covering it all. There was a sense of time watching over my shoulder. If I turned quick enough, I would see parishioners, heads bowed in quiet prayer. It was a disquieted feeling. I wasn't scared exactly. It's hard to say exactly what I felt, but out of place would work just fine. The graveyard to the left of the church had no more than a dozen graves. Don't recall the most recently interred body, but it was long before I was born. Surely not since the early 1940s or so, I thought. But then I saw flowers. True, they had long since dried up and lost most of their color, but someone still came there time to time. Maybe on Memorial Day, it was often done in the South. Along about that time, I recalled a conversation with a neighbor. She was lamenting the fact that a cousin of hers had been cheated out of her birthright. It seemed that Scotty Baynard had bought some land behind Hillsdale Church, 40 or so acres. But Scotty was into a lot of different things. He wanted the land to go to his daughter. His daughter was around my age, give or take. Scotty put the land in the name of Wade Flack to safeguard it for the daughter. Scotty got involved with a confrontation with the police in the parking lot of the drugstore. Shots were fired. Both Scotty and a policeman were hit. Scotty didn't survive. And as the story was relayed to me, Scotty's daughter didn't get her birthright. Wade Flack kept it. Skip ahead a couple more years. Now I'm 18 years old, give or take. I have a camper trailer set up in my uncle's backyard. Along comes Wade Flack. He asked if I wanted to work on the land he owns behind Hillsdale Church. I agreed. I set up my camper trailer on the land. It had been clear cut, meaning all the sellable timber had been cut and sold. A dozer had been pushing up stumps and piling brush. My job would be to burn the brush piles, using a tractor when needed, and to plant pine trees in even space roads. Not having a car, I would often drive the tractor to an area store or to my uncle or my parents' home. I'd often stay at my uncle's until well after dark, getting high on weed usually, and I dreaded going back to my camper. You ever see the movie Night of the Living Dead? Church was around a mile or so off the road, no houses, no lights. No lights on the tractor. And I had to go around a quarter mile past the church to get to my camper. And I'm not ashamed to say I was scared. In the daytime, I was sort of okay going by the church. But at night, it wasn't the church I was afraid of. It was the graveyard. I couldn't help but imagine that bodies would come up out of their graves waiting for me to come, all unaware. But I was aware, and I had a plan. I had a boombox, a powerful stereo cassette player. When I turned off the main road, headed to the camper, I prepared myself. I said a prayer that relied on Quiet Riot. Pray tell, are you familiar with the rock group Quiet Riot? They had a few heavy metal hits in the 80s. The cassette I had was their most famous, titled Mental Health. And the song I chose for protection was the powerful song that I put my trust in, Mental Health, the same as an album title. There's a line in the song that goes like this: get your straight jackets on tonight. The black boys are going to shut your grave. Rock on, rock on. By the time I reached the side of the church and graveyard, with only moon and or starlight and terror to keep me on the road, I put the tractor in high gear and Quiet Riot protected me. Why do I say that? I think it should be obvious. Nobody's escaped the earthly graves, and I'm still alive to tell about it. A number of years later, my cousin Marty was killed while bush hogging some of the same land, burning brush. Amongst my family, there's some controversy around exactly how Marty died. Did the tractor turn over on him, pinning and killing him? Was there a human agent involved? I can't say either way. All I know is that Hillsdale Church was where Tammy said it was, and Quiet Riot was my earthly protection. A couple years later, while rambling around the light of day, I found myself at Hillsdale. It looked the same, graveyard was still the same, and no zombies had escaped. The end.